Welcome to the All About TRH podcast, aka All About the Real Housewives, aka All About the Truth. In this part 2 interview with Real Housewives of New Jersey star Jennifer Aydin, she continues to answer listener questions and she does not hold back.
And now I got to tell you something else. Okay. Hot tea alert. Before I joined the show, as a viewer, I was a Melissa fan.
Jennifer.
Wow. I know. I believe the hype. I didn't understand why she didn't want her sister-in-law on the show. I'm like, this is family. I'm like, she's an ally.
Did you watch from the beginning?
So no, I didn't watch from the beginning.
Yeah, because that's where it starts.
I was like a mom. I would watch bits and pieces, and I would just see Teresa getting very flustered, and Melissa, what seemed like Melissa to always be trying. I'm like, it looks like they're trying. It looks like they're so nice.
Right.
Yes, I joined the show and I'm like, everything is processing. I'm like, yo, they're not nice.
Right.
And
you were a casual watcher. You were a casual watcher.
And I'm like, and she's like, and now with these eyes, I go back and I watch the very first episode of the christening where she's like, I'm going to go and say congratulations to the, because I said it at the church, but I'm going to go say it again. And when she comes over, and the way they're like, walk away, garbage, walk away. And her face, like I'm watching her now that I know her, she's processing like, did my family just come on this show to fucking sabotage me?
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck? And then boom, there's a camera in your face for the next 2 months. I dare you not to react.
Right.
She was trying to keep it cool so hard. And I think back then there wasn't that much social media. There wasn't breaking the fourth wall. So it's not like she could talk about why she's angry at them. There were apparently issues from before is what I'm gathering. So if you have issues with your family member, why go on a show that they're on when you have to cause drama? It just seems like
selfish.
You didn't care.
Yeah.
And
you never will care.
Like she, before Melissa was on the show, that she was befriending producers on Facebook.
Correct.
And then when she was friends with them on Facebook, she put the sprinkle cookie story on Facebook so that they would see. And then like, you know, obviously because it was relevant and Melissa was on the show, they made her start talking about it. I'm like, oh my God, like all these things to intentionally make your sister-in-law look bad. I love my sister-in-law because my sister-in-law is good to me.
Right.
You know, so I feel sad for Teresa. Biscuit, be quiet. I feel sad for Teresa that, like, you know, she's been having to deal with this for so long. And, you know, she tells me all the time. And the thing with, like, my sister is a single mom, and I take her everywhere I go.
Love that.
The longer I became friends with Teresa, every time I talked to her and I would tell her, like, oh, yeah, we went to dinner. It was me, Susie, Tony, and my sister. She's like, I love that you take your sister everywhere. I was like, well, you know what? She's single, and it's just her and her daughter. And, like, she's my family. I'm not going to leave her hanging. And she'd be like, yes, she's like, Teresa, she's like, Melissa and Joe, like, told me, like, you know, we're always with couples. That's why we don't tell you.
Which they admitted that on part 3.
Yeah. So, like, for them to have, like, a couple pictures with Shane here and there, that's just semantics, because that's when, like, an occasion is happening. So, of course, when someone's having a birthday or someone's, like, celebrating something, or, like, the whole group is going out to dinner, you invite them. When it counts is when, like, hey, I'm going out to dinner with, like, just my cousin and her husband. Do you want to come? Because you're family.
Right. Absolutely. Well, what do you think about Melissa saying she is the Queen of Jersey?
Oh, she ain't the Queen of Jersey. Are you kidding? I mean,
No.
Teresa was on a cover of the magazine. Like, literally, I think it said the Queen of Jersey, or like Bride of Jersey. No?
Right.
She even had the fucking crown to boot. Sorry, Melissa. You're the VP. You're not the queen.
Jennifer,
you may be like, you know, I mean, I don't even know. I think I would think maybe after Teresa, even Margaret's probably more popular than Melissa, no?
I do too. I think Margaret has done more. Like, let's remind everyone that on season 12, like, she was all the way at the end. The only thing that Melissa typically contributes is her beef with Teresa.
Yep.
So,
yeah, like,
I mean, Margaret actually does bring it. You know, I will give her that.
I mean, I don't know what season it was, but like, Margaret got first chair, and like Melissa was so angry.
Yep.
Was she?
So angry.
Wow.
Yeah. This
See,
is what
I could see that.
Fine.
Yeah, I could see that. Now I'm going to go back and look.
Who cares where I sit? Dude, I'm always in the fucking back.
Right.
I don't care. I don't care. I speak
Your
just
your
proud.
presence is there.
I
That's all
speak
that matters,
just
and you can
as
feel
loud.
you.
Yeah.
It does
Yeah.
not bother me. So yeah, that's like funny to me.
When
Well,
you were there
okay.
at this when you were there at this reunion, when you like started to see everything, did you feel that the left side like came together and like fabricated and rehearsed the stories they wanted to tell? Like, was that apparent to you when you were
I mean,
there?
everything was just completely out of left field.
Yeah.
Nothing that they said even resonated an inkling with me. And I spend a lot of time with them. They don't, when they even talk about that side, they don't talk about them being investigated. And let me tell you something. Louis' friend is Bo Dietl. They like Bo Dietl's like his boy. Like think about somebody that's like your boy and maybe the top private investigator. Like he may be looking out for you. I don't know if he said like one day like, oh, you know, Louis, don't worry. Like, you know me, I'm the best private investigator. I got shit on everybody.
Yep.
That could have been that way. You know, Louis was very flustered that night. You know, he just didn't want anything to ruin his wife's wedding. And I think he was spinning. And I, you know, with Bo Dietl, he talks about in fact, like he talked about Bo Dietl a couple times in front of me, but I couldn't even remember the guy's name because I had never heard of it. It really took watching it on camera to really fucking process the way that it was even pronounced.
Right.
Bo Diddle,
we say it all differently too.
Yeah, everybody's like pronouncing it a different way. So like that's his boy. He looks after him.
Right.
Louis did not hire him. And even after I said, Louis, he's like, Jen, would you even think? I'm like, no, I feel like you would have mentioned it. I mean, like, I know he's your boy. Louis did not hire him to do a smear campaign. You know who had the smear campaign? They had the smear campaign. Yeah. They came in there ready to smear Louis' name. Mm-hmm. And for what?
Which was so like crazy because the men only come out usually for like 15 minutes. So it's like the whole like 3 episodes is leading up to the minute they come out, which is really scary.
I feel like the men really should just be there only for comedic relief.
Yeah.
Right. I know people out there say like, oh, the house husbands need a show. The house husbands do not need a show.
No.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because when they argue, it goes to fucking 100 real quick.
Right.
Real quick.
Yeah.
And unless you want to have bodyguards and bouncers on call 24/7 to break up fights, nobody's going to want to watch that.
Yeah. And,
you see, like,
it's nowhere except on New Jersey.
You know, and even Louis was just like trying to be a better person at the end, trying to just say sorry. Like maybe not sorry for what he did, sorry for the situation.
Right.
You know, like he's just trying to, like, sometimes it just takes somebody to fucking give in first to create a domino effect. Yeah. But, you know, John Fuda had to be a cock blocker.
Oh my God.
It's gotta be this. It's gotta be. He's almost like a Margaret. Like, it's gotta be the apology the way I want it.
Well, I have to ask you.
Yeah, we call him Thirsty Fuda. I have to ask you, what were your thoughts on his involvement with part 3? This is his first season. His wife barely spoke. What did you think about that?
I mean, listen, I definitely think they're angry about something. I think they're projecting whatever's going on. This is the thing. Louis not the reason that your ex is coming out of the water. Okay, honey? You're on a TV show.
100%.
You just put her on blast. All right, so you're ruffling her feathers as it is. It's not thanks to one of your castmates. It's thanks to you.
Right.
You went on a fucking TV show and said how she didn't want her kid. And listen, I don't know the dynamics. So, and from what I could see, Rachel looks like a great mother. And I too, like you guys, thought when I first heard about it, that she's probably just doing it for storyline. Because like if she's wanted it for so long, why do you wait till now?
Right. That's what we said.
That's the thing. Like, I'm not saying that you didn't want to do it. I'm just saying you wanted it for so long. What lit the fire under your ass but the show? But that all went out the window when I saw Jaden like looking at her saying like that's what he really wanted.
Right. That's true.
And I was almost like at that point I was like, if anything mattered her as a character, that she didn't do it sooner.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, her personal storyline is very moving, but I just feel like the guys shouldn't get involved. It never ends well. I know I complained about Bill not getting involved. Those days about Bill not getting involved, complaining are over. I'm glad he doesn't get involved because then he doesn't get me in trouble or make me look bad.
It's so much better.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Because as women, I feel that we can all find a way to make amends. I mean, this is the thing. Melissa's not my sister. Right? Like Melissa is a family member of a very driving force on this show. People, they think Housewives of New Jersey, they think Teresa. You know, She's the OG flip the table. It's always a flip the table.
Yeah.
You know, her hair was like a Halloween costume. It's Teresa.
Have you told her that? Have you told her that?
Hell yeah, I fucking told her that.
Right.
Like,
I mean, we saw Jennifer's reaction on the special.
Yeah. It was like, it's not the main event.
Right.
But you know, at the end of the day, she was able to carry it, and she held high, and I mean, she looked fucking stunning walking down that aisle. Like, even
she
with
really
it almost looked very Italian, didn't it?
Yeah. No,
it looked like a big jumbo pinoli cookie, that hair.
Oh my God, I'm dying. Well, and she was confident about it. Like, if I did that, I would be so insecure the entire time.
She killed it. She killed it in all her looks, and her beauty resonated like through and through. So, what were we saying?
I don't know. You know,
we were talking about Fuda and like Melissa not being the part of Teresa, the part of New Jersey, but we can
and I'm throwing raspberries at my dog who's distracting me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So this is the thing. It was Teresa got here first. All right.
Right.
Melissa, Teresa got here first, and you got to give props to where props is due. And I think that maybe like if she came on as a Teresa ally, as like a support, instead of like trying to sabotage her, bring her down, and maybe even try to get her off the show that she fucking started.
Well, so what do you think?
That's like some crazy like things to get over, you know?
So where do you talk about where do you see the cast going then when you guys are also divided?
Well, listen, one thing is I think we're divided, but again, like you said, it looked like me and Margaret came to some kind of ending.
Yep.
But it also feels unfinished. So I do think there's avenues to move here with this group. But I don't know about Melissa as far as it comes to filming with her sister-in-law. I mean, you shouldn't film with family. If we haven't learned anything from like, you know, Kathy and Kyle and Kim, like, you know, and Joe and Teresa and like her with her cousin,
Caroline and Dina, all of them.
Family's not always great for family to work together.
Right.
You know,
so true.
It's rough. So it's not my call to make. So I'm lost just as much as you guys are.
Where do you stand with a Bravo lover 1, 2, 3, 4?
I mean, I think that she is the biggest, like, I think you guys were asking me a question. Who's 100% different on camera versus off camera, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Rachel Fuda.
Wow.
That's Rachel Fuda. Because off camera, she's sweet as a button nose. She looked like Snow White with her batty lashes. I even compliment her lashes. But then the cameras start rolling and this witch comes out with claws that like takes everything you said to her while she was all doe-eyed and spins it and spits it out into something like, we're talking about the nose job. She's like, she went to my doctor. Bitch, that wasn't your doctor. He was my doctor before your doctor. Because guess what? I went to him even before I met you.
Right.
How about that?
Yeah.
He took out my chin in January. He took out my chin. And I'm going to tell a story. I have the video. Andy didn't want to see it, but I have it.
Oh, yeah.
He took out my chin.
We can post it for you.
Thank you so much. He made a consultation to tweak my nose. 100% we did. Then I got my schedule. I had to film the after show. There was a few things I filmed. I canceled it. I had to cancel it twice. After the second time, you know how like when like I always feel that God tries to speak to you in whispers?
Right.
I'm like, maybe it's not meant to be. Maybe I should just leave well enough alone. And we're going to start filming soon. So we start filming, and I'm filming with this Rachel Fuda. And the first thing I notice is her nose. And if anything, I sympathize with her. I'm like, ugh, doesn't it fucking suck? This is what I'm thinking in my head. Doesn't it suck? When you think you're going to be like looking like one of those filters on your Snapchat and you come out and you're like, this is not what it was supposed to be. So when I talked about it on camera with her that day at Danielle's barbecue, and then I had that big fight with Dolores, again, I'm thinking this show is about making friends. She's a newbie. I'm thinking she's like, you know, not tainted at this point, because Danielle wasn't tainted. I know when I was trying to talk to Danielle, she was very sometimes supportive of Margaret. And she would be like, Margaret never did anything to me. Like, I think Margaret's good. And I'd be like, listen, no problem. Like, I'm just telling you my experience with her. And I respected Danielle that she was making her own opinion based on her own experience with Margaret, whereas Rachel was just kind of listening to the noise. But I wasn't aware of that at that point. This did not become clear to me until P.S. we were at Teresa's housewarming, where like she ambushed me because of what I talked about her with Dolores. I just met you, dude.
Wow.
I'm not calling you to vent about Dolores. I called you to talk about her fucked up nose jobs. And I called you to say sorry. Like, was that okay? If you don't want me to talk about it on camera, I just want to apologize. Like, she's like, no, I'm cool with that. I'm totally cool with it. And I'm like, are you happy with it? She said, no, not really. I said, I totally, can relate. And I said, who did you go to? And she told me the doctor. And then I was like, oh my God, like he took out my chin. I was going to go to him for my nose, but like, because of scheduling and like something came and I'm like, let's leave well enough alone. And again, just because you have a bad nose job, I will say it's not always because of the doctor. Sometimes it's the way that you heal. Sometimes it's the way that no doctor wants to give their patient a bad nose job. You know? So,
of course.
And I do know his work, like some of them are stellar and they're great. So sometimes it's a crapshoot. Telefondayım da. Mwah. I love you.
Oh, that was so cute.
So when she was saying that, she's like, she went to my nose doctor. She's a hypocrite. You're talking about a hypocrite. You're saying that Danielle was talking about you and her confessionals. Bitch, you were talking about everybody in your confessionals.
Yes.
What are you yelling about Danielle, yelling about you and her confessionals when you're yelling about everybody in your fucking confessionals?
Everyone.
Yeah. I'm surprised no one called her out for that because she constantly did that. She constantly said it.
You know, who the fuck cares about hypocrisy at this point? I feel like it's an equivalent to All Housewives at one point or another. Accountability is where it's at, bitches. Accountability, own your shits. So no, I did not set up Danielle. And I even told Danielle, like, there was no way of me telling you what I knew without me telling you what they knew. And I wasn't going to go there.
Have you talked to any of those ladies after the reunion?
No, just Danielle. I mean, Danielle and I are good. She's great. I'm going to her communion for her son. She came to Bill's 50th. So we're totally cool. Everything's great. Dolores, I love. She's really happy with Paulie. I'd love to see her happy.
Dolores came to Gabby's birthday. I saw that.
Yeah, she came to Gabby's birthday. I mean, listen, Teresa and Danielle would have came too, but they had already listen, it's graduation season. You know, everybody has graduation parties. Even Melania had a graduation party. So it's like party season. So no harm, no foul. You know what? There'll always be another. There'll be another. And it'll be just as fabulous. And no, bitch, I don't run on gas. I'm solar powered, honey.
Okay.
I'm going.
That should be your tagline for next season.
They're like, how do you do it? Aren't you tired? And then I host a barbecue at my house. And then like I'm hosting Jacob's Pictures today. That's why I had to get these rental company people out of here because the balloon lady's going to come at 3. Switch out the balloons to Jacob's theme of his school, and all the kids are coming here for the 8th grade dance pictures, and I got them a party bus. They are so excited.
You're the best.
And the venue is like around the corner, so like some of the parents were like, it's a waste, but I'm like, you know what, it's all right, I got it.
Right. It's just like part of the experience.
Oh, it's just the experience. They're going to be like in their glory, like taking pictures. And then they're like, Justin's like, everybody in my crew, we're not taking dates and we're wearing all black.
Oh, okay.
I was like, dang.
Yeah, right.
All right,
That's
men in black.
Right.
All right.
I'm dying.
Yes.
So we did get a couple more questions about Louie.
Let's go, questions.
So Joe Gorga calls Louie a woman abuser, kind of like how Margaret called you a drug addict. Those are big accusations. What was your thought process? Did you even hear him say that?
I did not hear him say that.
Okay.
First of all, he is not a woman abuser. He is anything but a woman abuser. He's the biggest mush. Like, can I tell you, Teresa and Gia, they were like arguing in the car. She was telling me that just about something silly, and Louis was sitting in the back seat and he's like, please don't argue, and he was crying.
Oh,
like
stop.
He is in touch with his feelings. He's just emotional. Okay?
Right.
He's emotional because he's passionate and he loves hard, and when he falls hard, he wants to learn the lesson hard, and he gets frustrated, and sometimes like things just come out wrong, and he's like, he thinks he's saying things to defend his point, but like sometimes it doesn't land. Like even with the pajama thing, like I know Louis's been trying so hard to like, listen, when you fall in love with someone, all you want is their family members to adore you.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I remember like when I was like first with my husband, I was like making his mother dishes. I would
Right.
like different like cooking salads and stuff. I would do everything I can to impress her just so that she could love me so much. So this
Right.
is what Louis is trying to do. He's trying to say things to him like, look how much I love you. I'm going to bat for you. And they were new pajamas and they had the tags. And again, they're not saying the story straight. Teresa was like getting rid of a whole bunch of Nono's clothes. And when they came across this, she's like, do you want these? And he was like, yeah, why not? And I think he only wore them once. So
Yeah.
it's like, you need taking that all the way to the bank. You all got to relax. It's not
Yeah,
a big
seriously.
deal. It's just the delivery. And you know
Right.
what? You got to appreciate that this is not a scripted show.
Yeah.
Okay. We are saying all of this on the fly. And sometimes we fuck up.
Right.
Okay. Don't fucking crucify us for it. It's already like we're putting ourselves on blast for you guys.
Yeah.
So like maybe kind of be gentle.
Right.
Okay. And like with Louis, he's new to all this. So he doesn't know what to make of it. And he really wanted them to all be in a good place for their wedding. Like Teresa just wanted peace. And she was really afraid that Joe was going to do something at her wedding for optics to try to ruin it. And she's like, she kept saying to me, this is my real wedding. This is my real wedding with like the man who has my heart. Please, please, please. I don't want anything to ruin this wedding.
Right. What were your thoughts on Melissa saying Gia is a liar? Like she said it 10 different times.
She's like taking a drink for it.
Yes. Okay. First of all, I mean, I almost think that's like, she should be canceled for that. Like, that's how extreme I think that is. Like, this is Gia. This is like, for me, America's sweetheart at this point. She's the sign of reason, the voice of reason. And she's always about accountability. We have watched time and time again how she puts her own mother in her place.
Right.
So she is the voice of reason. I know she didn't say that. What they were saying after the fact, and that I acknowledge, is that she was in a group setting with them and she was basically reiterating like we need to do better.
Right.
Like as a family. And that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. But Gia is not a liar. I think it's not a good look for Melissa or Joe to say that about their niece. There was a phone call. Maybe that's how Joe received it. I don't know. Like, sometimes when people are on the defense, they hear what they want to hear.
Right.
So,
but to even drag it on TV and that's your niece, that's your goddaughter. Like even if that's how he took
it's funny because like she tried to crucify Teresa about mentioning how Antonia didn't go to the Sweet 16.
Right.
Exactly.
Just like a mention.
Yeah.
And like here you are saying like doubling down, Gia's a liar. So Gia's not a liar. I think we all know that.
Yeah.
I think they've been proven to say lies, facts. This is not a dig or shade. This is just reiterating facts. So I don't think that they look very good in saying that.
What do you think about Melissa selling cuff bracelets? That's obviously, showing shade or throwing shade to Teresa.
I mean, like, what do you think? Like Teresa's selling, be green with envy bracelets?
Right.
No.
Right.
No,
right.
It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. I don't know. Maybe they need the money.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, well, you actually, we put up a photo recently of someone who did, like, I guess they did their kitchen in the backyard. And Joe Gorga was like, Joe was like talking about
Jennifer, you're funny.
Yeah, Joe was talking about how these people wouldn't come to his house to do his lights. And then the person who does like a backyard kitchen comments and says, you still owe me money from when I did your kitchen. And then you commented and you were like, oh, this person did my kitchen too. And it was amazing or something like that. I was cracking up.
Well, this is the thing. I know the guy over at Easy Outdoor Kitchen. I'm forgetting his name right now, but it's definitely worth mentioning. Hi, guy, if you're listening.
Yeah.
And I bought 2 kitchens from him. And, he almost always, when he's with me, reiterates how I'm not like the others. You're so cool. You're so down to earth. Like, we really appreciate you. And he's always so cool to me. Like, and he told me, he's like, the Gorgas didn't pay their bill to me. And this was already around the time where I was getting heat for saying he was crooked.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to even like bring that up ever.
Right.
But when, now that they've brought it up,
Right.
I'm just saying thank you for my wonderful kitchen, which again, I did not get it for free, but I did tag him in stories.
Right. Yeah.
And I tagged him because he did a good job. And listen, when they do a good job for me and then I tag them, then they do an even better job for me.
Right.
So like now when I call him for customer service all the time, he goes to bat for me.
100%.
He knows like I'll post him and that I'll
take care of him,
give him good reviews and all that. And that's important.
Right. Absolutely. Now, this was brought up a lot about Joe talking to the people who put Teresa behind, bars, right? It was his ex-business partner. Do you think Melissa and Joe had some involvement in getting Joe Giudice or hanging out with those people to get more dirt? Do you have any?
I don't have any details and I don't want to mishmash anything. But what I do know is that Teresa has proof that Joe Gorga was in contact, and that for whatever that means, with Joe's ex-partners during the time of the prosecution. And there was also some court documents that were dated before the investigation started, I guess, that linked Joe Gorga and this like lawyer, Monica Ciccone or whatever her last name is, that was on the prosecutor's case. I don't know if you remember one of the episodes where Kim, what's her name? I forget which initial she is.
Kim G.
Not Kim D.
Oh yeah, Kim G. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, yeah, Kim G brings her to like a Christmas party at the Gorgas, and Teresa's like, what is she doing here? And they were like, we don't even know them. And then like apparently a year before this, there was like a court document with both of their names on it that he had hired her for some bankruptcy thing. So to pretend you don't know her when she's on the prosecutor's case, I don't know. It looks a little shady to me. Do I think that Joe Gorga would ever do anything intentionally to harm his sister as far as putting her in prison? No. But I do think that he cared enough to like maybe punish Joe Giudice. Right. And in that, he probably didn't know that Teresa would ever go to prison for anything like that. Like maybe, and I don't know any of this to be true. I really don't. I just know that Teresa has told me she has proof. And after she said that, it's like, after that, I don't even want to know. I don't want to know because I don't want to, like I said, mishmash it. She has proof that he was in contacts with some people. And then you saw that Caroline Manzo thing where she was like on a stage saying, I didn't rat her out, but I know who did.
Right. Yep. Yeah. That was weird.
I know you did.
And she says she was there when they did.
Yeah, and like it's at this point it's semantics, like whether they called the FBI or whether he called somebody that ended up calling the FBI. Like he was involved in some sort is the accusation, and Teresa has proof, and I said she has proof, and but again, it's not my information to release. It's her information. Plus, I don't even know.
Right. Yeah.
And it's better that way.
Right.
Like I'm just like praying that I haven't botched 50% of what I've fucking given you right now. Cause I'm like, is this shit accurate? I don't know.
So we have some fun questions for you. I mean, a little shade, but like, I mean, who's your favorite housewife outside of your franchise?
So like my favorite, like for as far as like Housewives aura, I would say is Lisa Vanderpump.
Okay.
I like Lisa Vanderpump. You know what? She got like freaking house that has a name.
Yeah,
we should name our house something.
Yes,
like
I love
call
that.
it something. Like not Villa Rosa, but like maybe the Aydin estate.
Oh,
I like
okay.
That. We can make that work.
Yeah.
She's got like swans. I don't know. Do you know anybody who has swans?
No. And her house is beautiful.
Yeah, she's definitely extra in that department and amazing.
She's always in pink. Like everything she wears looks custom tailored. I mean, like if I like that, that'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool.
Right.
And it's like, I love where I'm at. I wouldn't want to change it for anything, but I could definitely appreciate and be like, you know what? That's pretty cool too.
Right.
So Lisa Vanderpump. But as far as like who's on the show these days right now, I love me some Candace Dillard.
Oh,
wow.
I love she's shady. I love that she's confident. I love that she's okay with being emotional on camera.
She's too emotional, girl. I can't, but I respect you.
It's got like, she's not being afraid to be who she is. She's not holding back. Like, I'm going to try to like make it seem like I'm tougher than I am. No, dude, I'm fucking weak and I'm crying.
Right.
So how about a fucking hug?
Right. That's interesting.
I'm just saying, like, I love Candace. Yeah.
How about not a favorite housewife? You didn't have a good experience with them, or you just like aren't impressed by them?
Not a favorite housewife. Okay, I may get some hate for this, but in my defense, I will say I did like her as a character on the show, but then when I met her, I was like, oh, no, you're not for me.
Oh my gosh, tell us.
Oh my God, Sonia Morgan.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you why. So we're at BravoCon, and they came up to me and they asked me if I would do an impromptu meet and greet with fans in one of these like exhibit rooms.
Right.
And I said, sure. And they're like, we're going to put you with a housewife of New York, Luann. I said, okay, no problem. Love Luann. I get there and I'm waiting outside and I'm waiting, and Luann's like coming back from the bathroom, and it's just me and her. And then all of a sudden, and these fans have been waiting. They've been waiting. The handler I have, like Luann had to go to the bathroom. I told the handler, I'm like, why don't I just go inside? There's 4 lines in there all the way to the fucking back. Why don't I go inside and just start taking pictures with some? So she's like, yeah, but then they're going to have to wait again for them. It's just easier if you're all together. I was like, okay, fine. So I wait, and then it's me, Luann, and then all of a sudden, Sonia pops up.
Right.
Doesn't even notice me, has no idea who I am, probably still doesn't know who I am to this day. Walks like right in front of me to my handler, so her back is to me, cutting me off from my handler. And she looks at my handler and she goes, no selfies, no singles. If anyone wants singles, you tell them they have to go back to the end of the line and wait. Don't make me be mean today.
Wow.
Wow. I feel like that's crazy.
But I can so see like the New York cast being like that. They just really think that they're the shit.
It was very disappointing to me, because I'm like, these fans have been waiting and they're just gonna scream your name, and like, this is like, I mean, it was just not nice. Right. And then when we get up there, and then I realize I'm with 2 New York housewives. Like, who the fuck put this together?
Right.
Like, the first person came up and it was like awkward, and then another person came up and was like, can I have one with just them 2? And I'm like, yes, I'll be right back. Yes, I'll be right back. I go to my handler. I'm like, I don't know whose idea was this, but I'm not going to stand here with 2 housewives from another franchise.
Right.
And then we had some fans screaming like, Jennifer. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm like, give me a security guard. I'm just going to work the line. So I went to each line, and like, they got nervous around me. So I was literally like grabbing their phones from their hands and taking selfies. And they're like, oh my God, thank you. I can't do it. I know you're so good at this.
Right.
And I'd be like, hey, where you from? And I was making small talk, and I took pictures with every single person that I could until it was time for my handler to take me to my next location. Like, I stayed and I was really trying. She was pushing me out, and I was trying to get as many in as I can.
You worked the room, huh?
I worked the room.
And Are you going to?
You know what? I always liked Sonia on the show. Like, she's a hot mess.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it'd be too much, but I was like, it was entertaining.
Right.
She was like, and then my first like heebie-jeebies was the night before, because we were at, Andy Cohen's massive Watch What Happens Live, and she was so drunk, like, I don't know if Joe Gorga was like behind her, and she's like kept like fumbling all over him, and Bill was sitting next to Joe Gorga, and I was like, just fall on my husband, bitch. Just fall on him for 2 seconds, and then you're gonna see like a sprint to the neck.
Right.
Because I was like, so she was already giving me like, I'm like, why is she getting so drunk like this when we're all together here?
Right. Yeah.
It's like, this is work. You got to keep your composure.
It's weird. I feel like I would see Ramona maybe being like that, because I know Ramona hates pictures, but so interesting that happened. And that would be so uncomfortable that there's 2 New York housewives, and then there's just like a New Jersey housewife.
Whose fucking bright idea was this?
Right. Yeah.
Are you going to BravoCon this year in Vegas?
I have not got any information on BravoCon.
Okay.
Me personally, so I don't know.
I feel like the tickets aren't out or anything. It's pretty soon, so I don't.
We still have like 5 months. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, tickets aren't even whatever. Okay, so one last question for you. Okay, name one housewife on your franchise who should leave the show.
Wow.
You got to answer.
I do. I can't plead the fifth.
No, wrong show.
Wrong show. So this is the thing. It's not my decision to decide who comes and who goes. But you know, it's really hard for me to see one of my closest friends suffer and struggle every time she's filming. So I would say Melissa has to leave.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that. I thought you were going to say Jackie.
Jackie don't bother me none.
Yeah, and she's not even a full-time housewife. Bye.
Like,
yeah.
Jackie don't
she's
bother
already
me
out the
none.
door.
She's like, you know, she's fine. And you know what? Like Jackie she sent me a text and she did. And listen, she didn't do anything really bad to me. You know? She didn't do anything.
Debatable. You would tell her things. Yeah. And then she would go and tell everyone else, and you actually like thought you guys are good. And she would go and tell everyone else, and the way she would do it
was like mocking you almost.
Yeah, mocking and talking about you. So I actually think Jackie has hoed you on several different occasions.
But have I hoed her?
No.
Really?
I don't think you have.
No, I have. I don't think I have. I've always tried to be friends with her. I don't think you have. I've always tried to be friends with her. I don't know, but she sent me a text and, you know, I think she would just like to move on. And again, it's not like me and her are going to be besties. Right. But I like the effort. And again, like I said, she doesn't bother me none. You know, Rachel Fuda bothers me more.
Right. Same. So
like,
we're really bothered.
Me. She's really bothering me. I'm like, you have a good way of twisting things around. She's like, oh, thank you. So you acknowledge it.
Right.
You're so dumb. You're so dumb. She said I was the worst dressed. Dude, you were so matronly. Dude.
Oh my God, yes. That's what we said.
I was like, what hair was that? Mother of Bride
that's
hair.
what we. Yeah, she literally looked like the Mother of Bride.
That was like some ugly marigold color that did nothing for your complexion.
Yeah, I will say I was pretty shocked by her dress. I really, really was because she did look very motherly.
They told me the theme was royalty. Okay, they're lucky I didn't come in. They're lucky I didn't come in with some like, you know, evil queen high collar.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a cross between that or the cape.
Right.
Okay, that's my fucking cape. Remember when Queen Elizabeth came in with the cape?
Oh, I
didn't see none of your bitches have a cape.
Do you have a stylist that helps you, or you love like picking out your dress?
I love it. I do it. And then I have my twins, the Estrada twins, who kill it with every reunion dress they made for the past 2 years. And they've made my Watch What Happens Live dress, and they turnaround time with dress is like phenomenal. And fun fact, they did Jen Fessler's daughter's bat mitzvah dress way back when.
Oh, that's so funny.
And I love Jen Fessler, by the way. I can see you two being very good friends.
Yes. Yeah. We totally.
You guys are both
clicked.
funny.
We went to the Gotham Ball, and we're just like going to give this, you know, friendship the respect that it deserves.
Yes, so, I love it. Well, Jennifer, thank you for taking the time to speak with us because we know your life is literally so chaotic.
For this podcast.
No, you didn't say anything bad.
Either. I feel like people haven't heard from me.
I know.
Well,
because you followed
it. Singing, talking. Every time I turn around, they're talking.
Well,
really though.
We heard producers say on Jeff Lewis that everyone is able to speak after all the reunion airs, and the reunion has aired. So you waited, and we appreciate that. We were the first people.
I don't wish any ill will to anybody that's on my cast.
Right.
You know, I don't want to sit here and talk negatively about any one of them. I just want to give my opinion on what I think.
Yeah.
And in that, if it comes some negativity, I apologize.
You did it in a classy way. You're good.
Oh,
so
thanks.
we really appreciate you, and we are so excited because we know you're going to be great next season.
At 1:00, I have Olivia's spring concert.
Oh my gosh, yeah. See,
you just have so much. It's crazy.
4:30 is the 8th grade dance picks at my house tonight. And
Love
then
that.
at 6:30, I have a Zoom for Jacob's new high school that he's going into. That's like mandatory.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a busy bee.
This day is packed.
Do you have an assistant? You need an assistant.
I don't. So if anybody's like in the Paramus area, but like I don't want fans. I don't want like people who say they can do and don't. I need closers. People's gonna like take this ship and run it like Captain Lee.
Right.
Yes.
Captain Lee.
We love Captain Lee.
because it's really exhausting. And I'm running from like, you know, trying to be a mom to like 5 kids. But remember, whatever I do for one, I have to do for every single one.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
and
a
it's
struggle
like,
trying to figure out. Yeah.
I mean, Olivia the other night, she was like, when's my sweet 16? She's like, she goes,
I could see her saying that.
She goes, do people have a sweet 11?
I'm dying.
She's so
Olivia,
funny.
you do. Only you do. So you better give that to her.
She was like, can I get the food truck? They were dying for the food truck.
Yes, that looks so cool. And then the like the candy bars, all that. Yeah, that was
candy bar and Shake Shack.
Yeah, you did an incredible job.
People were like getting their second win with their hunger again. It was great. It was really like just a fun time.
If you want to throw us a party at any point, you know, you are more than welcome
seriously.
To do that.
I am getting married. You can be
I partied out. And then like the end of this month, I'm doing Jakey wants a graduation party. I have to do that. And then Olivia wants a end of the year graduation party for her elementary school, which I got a lifeguard for, and I got the ice cream truck. So like, yeah, it's fun to be friends with my kids.
Yeah, I know, right? I wish I could go back.
It's the house that nobody ever wants to leave.
Right.
Pick your friends wisely, guys.
You know what, Jennifer, though, you're doing something right, because I always see this like expert on TikTok, and he always says, make sure that when you have kids, your house is a house that everyone always wants to come to. And so that's like your kids' safe zone, and you always know what your kids are up to and doing. So you're doing it right.
100%. And you know what? I spoil the shit out of them and their friends.
Right. I love that.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
Thank you, baby. Well, you're a rock star mom too. I mean, you're still in the beginnings of it.
I know.
As they grow, so will you.
Yes.
And you will be on that shit, like
right
on rice.
Oh
right
yeah,
on rice.
Totally. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer.
Thank you,
Have
Jennifer.
You're
a great day.
welcome.
All right, we'll
girls,
talk
I'll
soon.
Talk to you soon.
Okay,
bye.
Be sure to check out AllAboutTRH.com for everything Real Housewives and Bravo TV. And please make sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at AllAboutTRH Podcast.